YMCA contract until the contract is done, or shall we go for request for proposal?
It's not on, in our minutes, this is what's in our minutes.
It's in our minutes.
We haven't said anything further. There was discussion, but we never made a motion. There was discussion, but there was no motion. The motions that are in and approved in our minutes are table the report, then staff get additional information, and that's it. What additional information? Table it till when? That's all I'm saying here, folks.
Councilor Underwood.
Okay, so the question is when is it relevant for this to come out from table so that we can talk about it? Contract's up in 2014, a year beforehand is a pretty smart thing because sometime in 2013, maybe early or wherever, when we've got time. So let's say February.
Or September, that we have it before budget.
Before we have budget talks. And then we can put, no?
13 or
13, because then we'll be looking farther down and we'll already have a policy out there. We'll have some better idea. The blood would have like seeped off again off the floors by then.
So the discussion on the YMCA in Forest is, if this passes with the September 2013, it's off the table until we bring that back in September 2013.
There you go.
Okay? It's okay with the
friendly
mover?
amendment, I'm happy. September 2013.
Okay, Senator, it's agreeable?
Because that's a lot of time to panic.
Yep, that's all we need.
All in favor of that? It's carried. Your second motion.
Okay. Okay. We've talked about strategic. Oh, thank you.
Sorry.
Okay.
Yep.
We've talked about strategic planning. We've talked about community improvement plans, rec and leisure plans. We get into a bit of a discussion at the last meeting over these issues. This is something that we received a report from a former director of community services a year and a bit ago, saying, please do this. And I think we need to, so that we can move forward in a strategic way. I would like, though, that this fits a little bit smoother with Councillor Underwood's motion on the next page. So I guess all I'm saying is that under item 2, that the public input can be both before and after we receive a draft capital plan. So that we can get public input before, we can get public input after. We have 2 plans. The municipality put a lot of dollars into both of them, huge dollars. And please remember that those aren't Bruce plans. Those aren't the former council's plans. Those plans were developed from a whole lot of community input. And yeah, in some cases there was a little twigging by consultants along the way, and we can agree or disagree with that. But please remember that the history of the community input for both of these is crucial. Councillor Underwood is referring to these in his next motion and referred to it earlier when we were talking about planning in Grand Bend as far as circulation and trails and all of those things. So it's important to honor that community commitment, and I think we need to move forward in a planned way and get the feedback, and on we go.
Yes, well, I just want to make a comment. Obviously, we set aside a certain amount of money every year in our budget and in our reserves for recreational leisure, and I think it needs to be used strategically and wisely, and we have to make choices accordingly. But I do want to remind council as well that when we did our strategic planning, we narrowed our focus down to 3 issues. First being economic development, second environment, third community spirit. So if we're going to spend extra time focusing on any issue, I think we need to invest our staff's time, our monetary resources, and our public involvement on those 3 primarily. Yes, we are going to do some to do with recreation, but we have to be disciplined to stay to economic development, environment, and community spirit if we're going to get something accomplished during our 4-year term. Because if we do the shrapnel approach, we're really going to get lots of things started and nothing complete. So, I think we need to, yes, decide what our priorities will be, because we need to spend our money wisely, but be wise with how much time we allocate to something like this.
Councilor Russ.
I mean, those are excellent points, because we haven't finished the strategic plan, and we did set some priorities, generally speaking. But I think we actually need to support what you're talking about and our strategic plan. We need to do this for one simple reason. It gives us a reflection on something that we asked for back over here. Our actual budget process does not reflect on these documents in a real sense in our budget process. So the staff are not going to put them into the budget in a real sense until, and to me, this could be an overview almost, because we haven't done a strategic plan. I think it's strategic in a sense by not doing it. And don't get me wrong when I make this argument to you, but you being not the princess of recreation. That's true. So you not being the princess of recreation would not argue in favor of those things, right? But the fact is that you would argue for correct and viable funding. You've always said that, right?
Okay.
And I think what we're doing here is that we've got so many dollars we can spend, right? And this will prioritize, the staff is going to look at it. It says it right within both of those plans that things should be done. And I think Peggy did tell us, you know, these are things we should do. We haven't done. We've been doing this a lot, okay? Accepting the realities, that's a fact. But I think it would support your argument as well. I really think that if by putting that in our budget process, when the staff are putting together those primary budget materials, they're able to see, right? And there we go, oh yeah, that's part of a plan. That's all. And it doesn't have to be broad. It can be very simple strokes, actually.
Councilor Scott.
Let's take this to the simplicity. This seems to be my new word of late. Bottom line is that we have talked about strat plans and meetings and all of that for a long time. And I talked at the last council meeting, and I should have made the motion, which I didn't do, I thought of after, is I think we should meet every Tuesday until we get to a point where we're in a position to know what's going. So after everybody's finished their motion, I'm probably going to bring that one up because we've discussed it in council, so.
Councilor Underwood.
Strategic planning versus having documentation and public input that already supports to help supply you with a strategic plan. We're not going to end up with a hard cast iron document of a strategic plan that is inflexible for 10 years, because we're going to handicap any future councils and we won't be able to suddenly adapt to any situations that may occur in our favor or detriment. So the work's already been done by consultants, and our job as councillors, quite honestly, is to hopefully identify areas which fall within the spirit and the direction of the community design plan and our other supporting documents, be it the recreation master plan, the beach plan. They help us aim our direction for our strategic plan. So I don't see it as two separate issues, as a financial thing and all the rest. It all comes together when we make decisions. And when it comes to budgets, we talk about pet projects, but if that pet project, as somebody else wants to call it, falls within the community design plan and our overall direction, it isn't a pet project, it is actually strategically done.
Okay. Captain Red Eye.
Yeah, just a quick follow-up. I'm not saying that we should not be doing some type of strategic planning within recreation itself, but I really like what John said. There's a difference between doing an extensive amount of effort and there's something that's more simplistic. Like we look at it and like instead of having 2 or 3 public meetings, since we already have public input in the documents, let's just say, let staff determine what should be a reasonable 10-year plan, and then, but really focus our energies and our efforts on getting these other 3 issues that we identified as our top priorities rolling. That's fundamentally what I'm saying. So yes, we need to wise to have used sub-strategies here, yes, but the overall picture, we have to keep it in mind.
Councilor Ullman.
All this is saying is, councilors, go out and get some feedback. We're going to do that in Forest. We need to do it. Go out and get some feedback. Put something together in terms of a draft capital plan, like we have draft 10-year plans for a number of items. It's there. It's not written in stone. It's modified as